Hey diddle diddle, the holder and his fiddle, Bitcoin price jumped over the moon. The little moon boy laughed to see such gainers and his trousers were ruined once again. Holy Stromboli, Bitcoin is currently being pushed, pressed, pinned, and diddled around 50,000 US dollars. But the question now is, can we now confirm this is in fact the bottom, or are we about to be squeezed like a hot dog at a hot dog eating competition? And Ethereum is up over $150 since we made our Ethereum breakout video just a few days ago. But how much higher can we blast before our parents knock on our doors and ruin the fun? And what in Turkey Town is going on this chart? This is absolutely must-see TV. I'm your host, Bean, Dip, Dunk, and Crunch, and boy oh boy do we have a webisode for you today. Guys, I'm just gonna come out on a limb and say it. I believe that within the next 48 hours, we're going to see some price action for some of these top cryptos, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, that we have been waiting 2 to 3 weeks for. This is about to get messy. We're going to be diving into these charts on Bitcoin and Ethereum as well, because as you know, Bitcoin is in the middle of a breakout. And as we talked about just days ago, this breakout has gone exactly according to what we said we want to see. All that means is resistance flipping into support, and that is exactly perfect for continuing a bullish blast off. And within all of that, we have this bullish pattern formed as well. And the breakout target of this is roughly about 2,000 US dollars. But if we approach 2,000 again, by that point, it'll already be too late. I think we're going to go much higher than that. And we're just inching up there. And the full breakout target, you better believe it, is much, much, much higher than we currently sit. And in fact, is it possible that we see a $2,500 to $3,000 Ethereum in the month of March 2021. Yes, that's right. That is this month. Well, we're going to be diving into that as well. And Bitcoin. Guys, we're starting to see these stimulus checks as early as just a week from now. So what are the chances we get a repeat of what we've seen prior? And Bitcoin has a nice little rumpage to the upside. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications as well if you want access to these time-sensitive critical updates. There is a lot going on in these charts, and you just absolutely don't want to miss it. There is a quiet before the storm, and let me just say, it looks as though definitely, that's for sure. So without any further ado, let's dive in. Scrum diddly umptious. Guys, Ethereum has been the apple of my eye the last few days, as when we see a chart pattern like this, it is just very, very hard to keep your eyes off of it because the action, it keeps on coming. And guys, before we dive any further here, this is something that I think people that are new to this space might not know this. People that have been here for at least 6 months, you guys already know this. But people that are newer, they need to understand this, because I just want to mitigate some confusion when it comes to a breakout. Guys, when you see a chart pattern, let's say that this is the resistance, which it is, and we're forming an inverse head and shoulder, which typically breaks bullish, and we were talking about this right about here, and as you can see, every 6-hour candle so far basically has been up since then, and so far it's been going the direction of a breakout, exactly as we talked about a few days ago. Now, the thing is, when you see this happen, when we say if there's resistance here and when it breaks it, it's going to start breaking out, that doesn't literally mean that the second it touches the resistance, it goes to a full breakout to the exact level of a breakout. Guys, breakouts are often delayed, and you can test this by literally looking at any chart, going back in history, and finding any pattern on this very, very long-term chart. The second it touches and the second it begins to break out doesn't mean that's exactly when a full breakout happens. And I think a lot of new people in the space are kind of confused about that. They'll look at these charts and say, breakout, yes, it came out to this level, but why is it not already 2,100 US dollars? Guys, it's a process, all of it. Dumps and pumps take longer. And in my experience, dumps actually happen quicker because dumps can get very, very explosive to the downside. Pumps can happen extremely quick, but sometimes they take a little longer to play out. And with that being said, we're actually in the middle of a breakout at this very second with Ethereum. And if you look at this daily chart, it becomes extremely clear. Looking on a daily chart, it's very obvious this is a breakout. And if you would look on this daily chart and you would look back, you would see, okay, yeah, we see an ascending triangle. Look, it broke up. But what you notice about this pattern is it did not immediately break up. As soon as it broke here, it did not go straight to $2,000. It takes time. these patterns need to play out. And if we go to the weekly chart, it looks like it happened rather quick, right? You see it's right here, trading within here, then it breaks, and you see it almost immediately go back up. But again, this is on a weekly chart, so it doesn't factor in all those little itsy bitsy moments that you're constantly painstakingly waiting for a breakout. Breakouts take time, and we're literally in the middle of a breakout now. So again, I probably shouldn't feel the need to explain that, but just by some of the comments that I've seen over the last few days, I think there are a lot of people that are confused about how breakouts work, and they take some time to play out. So with that being said, this entire breakout for Ethereum so far has been perfect. This is exactly how a breakout plays out. Now, we've already kind of had a little bit of a back test. You can see it here. And in my experience, this is a pretty good back test. We come all the way up to about 1750, and then we get a decent retest of 1660, so almost an entire $100 drop. But with this 6-hour candle, you see very big wick, so you see that buying pressure immediately soak it back up. And currently, we're just sitting at some critical VPVR volume. Horizontal here is about 1750. Huge range here. 1650 to 1750 is just a really big range here. But this breakout so far is going exactly according to plan. When we made the Ethereum breakout video, Ethereum's price was right about here, but the structure for an inverse head and shoulder was already formed, so it was kind of clear to anybody looking at this inverse head and shoulders that it was probably going to break up. And yeah, since then it's up over what, like $130 or roughly that, since about $140 since that. And remember, the breakout target is all the way up here around 2,000 US dollars. So again, this is going to play out most likely over, this could take another 3 days. This could take another 10 days. There's so many factors when it comes to a breakout. It's very, very hard to just tell you the exact date, but the momentum and the actual pattern of a breakout is very clear and pretty reliable for the most part. So again, I fully anticipate Ethereum is going to continue to break out throughout the month of March up to that $2,000 plus target. And again, I personally think that once we actually reach the all-time highs of about $2,000.40 or $2,040, it's going to continue climbing there up to minimum $2,500. But I think $3,000 is a very likely price target for the month, for this month. Again, we only have over 3 weeks of this month left. It's a pretty fresh month, but yeah, this target is probably going to be hit, in my opinion, within that time frame. Ethereum's been very bullish. It just had a macro retest of the previous all-time highs going back to 2018, January of 2018. We just had that retest. You can see it very clearly here. Yeah, let's do this. Look on this weekly chart. You can see these are the previous all-time highs. We broke up pretty significantly above that, and then you see a macro retest of these all-time highs from back here. That is, I mean, that's beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see with technical analysis. And yeah, with Ethereum's EIP 1559 news, combined with the fact that I think Bitcoin is going to shift into a more bullish environment as well over the next 1 to 2 weeks, just the perfect mixture for a true breakout, in my opinion. So that's what I'm looking for. Could it go the opposite way? Absolutely, guys. This market is unpredictable. And again, there's more than just TA, but as far as I'm concerned and from everything that I gather, this looks very, very good. And yeah, Ethereum did what we thought it was going to do a few days ago, and it's still continuing to do that. I think that's going to continue here on Bitcoin's chart as well. Another thing we got to be bullish about here is, again, we're reclaiming this 21-day moving average, which for the most part, disregarding all of the TA, breaking back above this 21-day moving average is by far the most critical thing we need to do. If there's one way to determine if Bitcoin is bullish or bearish in the short term, in my opinion, it would be, and actually this is kind of just universal, not even just my opinion, it would just be being above the 21-day moving average, which we currently are. We came above it yesterday. We had a little bit of a dip this morning, but we're currently trying to just remain above it. Another daily close here would be really good, which we'll be getting in about 5 hours from the time I'm recording. But yeah, this is pretty good for Bitcoin. The fact we haven't gone down to the 50 is also pretty impressive, considering we did on our last pullback back in January. Not counting it out, guys, still possible. We're not out of the woods at all yet. But I just personally think the momentum at this point has swung into more of a positive direction, and we're going to be kind of looping around. And again, it's going to take at least probably 4 to 5 days, I think, before we really start approaching all-time highs, if that's what we're going to do. But yeah, Bitcoin, I think, is now shifting into a more bullish trend. Remember, after like 2 or 3 days back here, I was saying, okay, we're in a bearish trend now, trends to the downside. And a lot of people were saying, no, that's not true. We're going to go straight back up and break 60K. That wasn't the case. And we continue to go down here. We set a lower high. And again, the key here is now going to be setting a higher high. Which again is concretely breaking 53,000, but specifically I think it's like 52,600. You can see on this 6-hour chart, it's this level right here. Yeah, it's specifically 52,600, and also this fib level is where we just recently got rejected right here. which is also where we got rejected here. We just had a little bit of a wick here. But for the most part, yeah, 52,000 was the high. So 52,000 is still that key area we need to break. We've been talking about that for weeks at this point. It has still been unable to be broken here. But again, if we're in this falling wedge, break out, retest here, and now continuation, we could see it happen like this. You know, it could take another, you know, 3 to 4 days even before we get that higher high and continue up to this $56,000 level, which is the very critical Fibonacci extension level right here, 56,000. But the fact is, we're in the middle of an Ethereum breakout, and as well, it's very possible we're in the middle of a Bitcoin breakout as well. And a lot of things are lining up with that. But you can see as well on this 1 hour chart, you see us literally just bouncing around. We were bouncing between a few different Fibonacci channels, but now most recently, it's kind of just been between these two, and specifically this Fib channel here, and that is the $52,000 to the $48,000 range. And surprise, surprise, that's a range we've been talking about for weeks at this point, because this really has been the consolidation range. Again, if you go to the daily chart, you can see all of this price action right here has been kind of boring. It's been sideways, but it's for the most part all been between that $48,000 to $52,000 range. We've gotten, you know, swings a little bit lower, not too much higher than 52,000 at all, but we've had swings below 48,000. But for the most part, we've just been consolidating in a smaller and smaller range, and that is exactly what happens before a big swing, whether it's to the upside or the downside. Again, at this point, I personally think now we're swinging to more of a bullish break when it happens. And again, like I said, this could still be 3 to 4 days out, so not yet immediate. And same thing for Ethereum. Ethereum's looking very strong, but you know, we might not reach the climax of this breakout for another week or two. It might take another week or two before we actually hit $2,000 per Ether, per Ethereum. But as well, I mean, Ethereum's actually going up a little bit right now as I'm recording. But yeah, ultimately, I definitely think that's the trajectory we're going with Ethereum. Same exact thing for Bitcoin, is looking more bullish than bearish now, which for the past 2 weeks, I was saying the opposite, that short-term Bitcoin was bearish. But now I think we finally have the confirmation. It's still early, but it's late enough where I think that we get a very good confirmation. I think that Bitcoin could actually be going higher here in the next week, and really kicking off yet another rally to set new all-time highs for Bitcoin and some new all-time highs for some altcoins. If we just take a look at some altcoins as well, ADA has not done anything since my last update, so there's nothing else for me to say here. It's still straddling the 21-day. Chainlink looking a little more bullish recently, trying to regain its 21-day moving average, but ultimately it looks like it's building strong momentum here, ready for that next leg up after showing weakness for quite a few weeks now, maybe like 3 weeks now. We've been seeing Chainlink be kind of weak in price action. But guys, again, with all that being said, we have the DXY still making new highs here. And as we said, the $93 range is something we're eyeing up for big resistance, but we have not gotten there yet. We have a fair amount of room left. So as we've been saying for the past few weeks, there's still a pretty nice amount of bouncing that the DXY could do before I really expect a pullback. But yeah, at this point we still have to wait. It's actually impressive that Bitcoin is holding $51,000 as the DXY has been rallying quite a bit. If we go back to August of 2020, the DXY bottomed, and then it rallied a total of about 3%, a little over 3% before continuing to dump. And yeah, our current bottom's around 89.1, and we're up about 3.5% now. So we're kind of getting in the same territory where we could expect to see that pullback soon. But like I said, we could go all the way up from that low to the high of about 5% before expecting the DXY, I think, to run into resistance here. So again, US dollar currency index, no reason in my opinion to expect that this thing will start exploding to the upside. But yeah, we'll have to follow it, because if this would, let's just say this thing would shoot up to 96, 97 over the next few months, that probably wouldn't be good for Bitcoin. I think that's extremely, extremely unlikely, but it's something we just got to watch, because how this moves heavily can dictate what Bitcoin can do in the long term. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. If you're interested in trading on Bybit or Femex, make sure to use our deposit bonuses below. And without any further ado, that's it for me. Bye-bye.